Hello and welcome to the Front Office Podcast. I am your host, Marcus Cameron, and as always, our show is sponsored by Tees and Trees Clothing. Tees and Trees is where we stand on business. I don't have a Tees and Trees shirt on. It's a little airish, to say the least, in my garage, so I'm a little cold. But I am rocking my man Brent Robinson Lifestyle Apparel. Check them out. Check out their website, Facebook. All that, as always, make sure you click like, subscribe, follow, and share. Nothing out of the ordinary this weekend. Just wanted to get a show up early in the week. Lakers, we're going to talk about the Lakers real quick. Deeboe was traded to the Commanders. We're going to talk about that. And really, that's the only pressing things I want to talk about. Oh, and we're going to have to make sure we put some respect on J.J. Redick's name. But first, let's start with the Lakers and the NBA. Lakers beat the Clippers twice this weekend in convincing fashion. Both games were kind of competitive. I'm not going to say it was a blowout, but no Austin Reeves in either game. No Rui Hachimura in either game. Lakers are impressive. Defensively, they're impressive. Offensively, they're moving the ball. For all you people who think that LeBron can't play off the ball, what's the excuse now? I mean, that Lakers team looks great. They're second in the West, making a move up the ladder. I don't think they're going to catch OKC, but if they can sustain this throughout the season and finish at that number 2 seed, I think that's where they want to be. They don't want to be in that play-in portion, and they look good. Minnesota had a big win against Phoenix. Phoenix just looks like that coach has lost the locker room over there. I'm not buying into the whole KD's a bad influence and KD's the problem. They just look like they're not getting along with their coach. It happens. Players not responding. Nobody's on the same page. It just looks a hot mess. Expect big changes in Phoenix this summer. Again, I'm not an insider or anything like that, but I don't see how you continue with that same team. Over in the East, though, the Cavs had a really impressive win against the Celtics. I believe it was Saturday. Yeah, Saturday, because I bet on – who did I bet on? I think Derek White. He covered. Shout out to Prize Picks. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, and share. But definitely shout out to Prize Picks. The Cavs look great. They were down, I think, 23 or 25-2 in the first quarter. Walked the Celtics down. I was impressed with the win. I think it's an impressive win. The Cavs are holding on to that number 1 seed, which means if they can finish with that, they're going to finish with home court advantage in the playoffs, and that may play a factor because I don't think the Cavs are actually better than Boston. I think Boston is the better team, especially when healthy. They didn't have Drew Holiday on Saturday, and they didn't have Porzingis. It was a close game, but you got to give the Cavs credit. They played team basketball. I think their coach is going to be the coach of the year in Kenny Atkinson. They look good. Donovan Mitchell looks good. Health, I worry about with the Cavs, and it's kind of a show me. I don't think they're going to have a problem getting through the first 2 rounds, but at Eastern Conference Finals, when you meet the Celtics, if they don't slip up along the way, I'm still not picking the Cavs to beat them. Can they beat them? Yes. Do I think it's likely? No. I don't think it's likely that they actually beat them. But nonetheless, great win by the Cavs. You got to give credit where credit is due, and they look good. They look good. Like I said, they move the ball well. They play a great style of basketball, and they play defense. Those 2 bigs, Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, Okor, they got some really good pieces. And again, unproven pieces when it comes down to playoff basketball, but we'll see how that plays out. But let's switch gears real quick. Like I said, it's going to be a quick episode. It was a long weekend. My kids had to track me. Shout out to Aaron and Lauren Cameron. And the whole Ridgeview track and field team, coaches, everybody, they went to the Diamond Hornet Invitational this weekend and played really well. Not played really well, performed really well. That's the term they use in track, is performed. Performed really well. I think the boys won. The girls placed really high. I think they were in the top 3. Great start to the season. Home meet on Wednesday. I'm amped. I'm jacked, which is crazy to say because I never thought I would be amped about track and field, but I am. I'm very proud of the kids, man. They did a great job. But the NFL, onto the NFL, man. Big trade this weekend. Huge trade. Along with what's going on at the combine and everybody trying to get ready for the draft, San Francisco made a move. They traded Deeboe Samuel to the Washington Commanders for a 5th-round pick. San Francisco, I got a homeboy who's a San Francisco fan, Boston George. Shout out to him. He was happy to see Deeboe go. I think a lot of people are. I think Deeboe kind of wore out his welcome a little bit in San Francisco. But for a 5th-round pick is crazy. Like, I don't think you are going to get any close to the production that Deeboe is capable of giving for a 5th-round pick. That just lets me know that relationship is nowhere where it needed to be. It was time for him to go. And I think he was ready to go, and I think San Francisco was ready to get rid of him. And if all they could get out of it was a 5th-round pick, they GM got to do a little better. I mean, Deeboe has a big salary. He is a weapon as far as running the ball, catching the ball, good blocker, does have some health issues, does seem to get hurt at the wrong time, which can be a little frustrating for a franchise. But we'll see how it plays out in Washington. You give Jaden Daniels another weapon that allows him to, as somebody I was talking to this weekend spoke on, allows him to have another weapon and not really fall down to that sophomore jinx. We'll see how it plays out. Of course, it's not officially done until I think it's right after the draft, the deadline, or June, where they can actually sign contracts or something like that. But Deeboe on the way to Washington, going to the NFC East, should be interesting. Should be a good football season. Other than the draft and combine, not a whole lot of NFL news. Shedeur Sanders, Travis Henry, and Cam Ward all showed up to the combine. Didn't perform, didn't do anything, but just showed up to answer questions, which I don't have an issue with. A lot of people have been talking about it. You know, they brought attention to it. There's a lot of people that want to hear them talk, a lot of media. While they're there, they get to see some of the guys that kind of in between, maybe not a guaranteed 1st round. Maybe you're projected a late 2nd, and you show out and have a big performance like the kid from USC, the cornerback, and that can boost your draft stock. And that's a good thing for them. That's a great thing for them. I think it brings attention to those guys who are not getting as much attention as the guys like the Cam Wards, the Travis Henrys, and the Shedeur Sanders. So kudos for them for even showing up. I'm a firm believer in you have enough tape. I shouldn't have to throw the ball. I shouldn't have to do all that. But it's a tradition. I do think the combine is more for the in-between guys. I don't think it's for the guys that we know are going in the 1st and 2nd round. I think it's for the guys who are kind of making a name for themselves. Shout out to Quincy Riley. His mom was a classmate of mine at Dreher High School. I hope he gets drafted high, man. I'm definitely going to be rooting for him. Cornerback at Louisville. I watched him play a couple times this year. Solid. Very, very solid. Had a great path to the NFL or a great path to college and Louisville. And I hope he gets drafted really high. So shout out to Quincy Riley and his family, man. I hope it works out for them. My last thing, and I'm going to get out of here because I got to take my daughter to school. I want Michael Wilbon to come on down to the front office. You went on a rant about how Darvin Ham should not have been fired. Anthony Davis and LeBron got him fired because they're divas. And then you hire J.J. Redick, who doesn't have any experience and everything like that. The Lakers are currently sitting at 2nd in the West. I want Michael Wilbon to address this. Where were they last year at this time? And they traded away Anthony Davis, which only happened a couple weeks ago. So I don't really attribute the trade to where they are. I think it's been a work in progress all year. I watched the Mind the podcast. If you know basketball and you watch LeBron and J.J. Redick talk about basketball, you knew they were cooking up something. Because coaching X's and O's is one thing, but also being able to deal with egos, manage egos, being able to push people, the right buttons at the right time, that's a different part. I think that's what everybody questioned. I didn't question J.J. Redick's knowledge at all, or his ability to be able to draw X's and O's. He's passionate about the game. He's a young coach. He's done well. Now, it's early. We just finished All-Star break, so he still has to get to the playoffs, so he can still come out here and fall flat on his face easily as a high seed and get ousted in the 1st round. But I don't see that happening. Very impressed with J.J. Redick, but for the Michael Wilbons of the world, I would love for y'all to respond. Don't act like it didn't happen. Don't act like you didn't get on your soapbox. Give credit where credit is due. He has done an amazing job and deserves some credit. But that's it for me, man. New podcast, the Hot Seat podcast is going to be dropping soon. I'm on that podcast with a couple of good brothers, four of us, Drew, Twan, Harold. Make sure you follow the IG page. I'll post it here. It's going to be interesting. Great conversations. No holds bars. Not a whole lot of censorship. It's a good podcast, man. Y'all should follow the Instagram page. The YouTube page will be up soon, and we will be recording that live very, very soon. So we'll have some clips up today on our Instagram page, which is High Skies Visions. Again, like, share, follow our page, our YouTube page. I am Marcus Cameron. This is the Front Office Podcast. Tees and Trees is the clothing line. Peace.